I'm going to keep this as high level as possible, but let's talk about some stuff along the way, especially because it is the 20th anniversary of some mess. Hello and welcome to the EuroWhat, episode 287, dropping on January 13th, 2026. We are a pair of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm Ben Smith, and I'm here with my co-host, Mike McComb. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ben.
In this episode, we'll be talking about the histories of Moldova and Malta at Eurovision. Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year. I think we're still within the time frame where we can say that, even though it feels like it's very late into January already.
Oh, yeah. Like, in terms of when this episode is dropping, it's very late. But I feel like we are still in, like, the grace period of, I haven't seen you since December. So, although I have seen you since December, but...
Yes, yeah. Oh, the fun time travel we get to do with this podcast.
Yes,
so,
yeah. Let's see. So, as we enter a different Eurovision season, I'm glad that this is where we're starting out.
I am too. I think we both found a lot of interesting things as we were getting ready for the first national selections that'll be happening in 2026 for 2026. We should probably backtrack a little bit for a couple of the selections that happened at the end of 2025.
Yes. The general Eurofan was doing some processing. Albania and Montenegro were also doing some processing of their entries. And we have two songs. Albania selected Alice, who will be performing Non. And Montenegro selected Tamara Živković's Nova Zora.
We've done an Albania episode. We should have probably covered Montenegro more in depth, but I was kind of underwhelmed by their national final overall.
Yeah, I was also underwhelmed. I think they made the right choice.
Yes, it was the best entry out of 15 song-shaped entries.
Yeah, and like I saw that they were doing the thing that I dislike, where they take all of the points and then squish them into 12, 10, 8 shaped boxes. So I did a little spreadsheet about that, and then it turns out that no, like it was good that they put things in boxes because the spreadsheet is bad. More things shifted places than I expected, and it would have meant that Nova Zora would not have won. And like of their songs, I think that one is the best one they had to offer. I think that is the one that has the most sort of general what I want from this nation.
We are up to 2 songs out of 35. In terms of other administrative stuff that's happening, by the time that you hear this episode, the semifinal allocation will have happened. And for European listeners, tickets are about to go on sale. For US listeners that don't have insomnia, tickets have probably already sold out by the time you're listening to this. So congrats / condolences / oh, right, tickets. So
yeah, no, I got the your account has been verified email yesterday. I was like, oh, buddy.
Yeah, because like registration for that opened well before the meeting happened, so it was like, okay, just getting those ducks in a row, just in case. Ticket prices are not as outlandish as I was expecting, but
okay.
still a little pricey. It's going to set you back a couple €100 to attend, and especially any of the televised shows. The rehearsal shows are going to be a little bit less expensive, but yeah, you still got a budget for it. I think that covers everything that's happened since the last episode.
That about covers the high-level news.
Yeah. So what we're doing for this selection season is really highlighting the countries that we haven't had a chance to highlight yet, particularly as their national finals are coming up on the schedule. Moldova and Malta will be having their national finals on Saturday, January 17th. Yeah, we're kind of combining a history lesson with a preview of what those shows should have in store. Ben, you won the coin toss, so where would you like to go?
I picked Hammer and selected Moldova. Both of these selections are happening during Mystery Hunt for me, so like I will be otherwise engaged on Saturday, and I'm kind of sad because I'm very intrigued about both of these selections this year. Malta purely from what is Mirjana Conte going to wear reasons. That's the part that I'm looking that like I am most excited about with Malta. But like I assume I will be able to find that elsewhere afterwards. In terms of Moldova. Moldova took last year off in sort of a messier way than we normally see, in that they had like their full standard live audition process and then withdrew after those open auditions, citing economic, administrative, and artistic challenges and a decrease in public interest and the overall quality of songs and artistic performances. But that got me thinking about what I think about with Moldova and like what I sort of associate with them. So let's talk about Moldova as a country. Moldova reemerges as a nation, as its own nation in 1991 after being part of Romania in like late 1800s. And then the Soviet Union happens and then collapses, which is how we get all these nations in 1991. But Moldova in particular is just sort of where it's geographically located in Europe is landlocked by Ukraine and Romania. They are one of the poorest countries in Europe by GDP per official capita. I want to say 2022 they were second. I was seeing some other data that they may be the poorest, although it's up there with like with Kosovo and Ukraine. And I think part of that is just like they're very close to Russia geographically, and just sort of like a lot of resources are not necessarily being shared. Another thing I associate with Moldova is just sort of having very fun wedding energy.
Yeah.
I think that like a lot of that comes from they also have a fantastic climate for vineyards. Like they're one of the 20 largest producers of wine in the world. That's where the wine mom energy comes from. They're making all of the wine. This describes the national character of a lot of what they select. Teleradio Moldova, their broadcaster, they've been part of the EBU since 1993. As a television channel, it dates back to 1958, where they were like broadcasting twice a week. They have participated in Eurovision since 2005, only missing last year, 2025.
Oh, wow. Missing last year was a pretty big deal then.
Yes. Again, Moldova is one of the poorest countries in Europe. Money is tight. Eurovision participation is not cheap. But I think when you look at their entries and their history in the contest in macro, you start to see that like they don't have a lot, but they're very resourceful and scrappy. I have in my notes that they are chaotic in a scrappy way. They can punch above their weight when they tap into kind of what they do best. Their selection has been pretty consistent, like sort of like a couple years ago when I discovered it's always been Melfest. Is like the name for what Moldova selects their entry with has changed over the years. So it's always been like O Melody pentru Europa, or now it's like Etapa Națională, but like different names for the same thing. Everybody submits a song, some sort of panel or producers come up with a short list that generally has some sort of live audition process that gets whittled down to finalists. And depending on the number of those, some years there's enough to have a couple semifinals. Most years there's definitely just a final. They have internally selected a couple of times. In 2007, they essentially have a little bit of an internal selection because we'll get to this. In 2006, they don't do so hot. They're like, we're not going to do Eurovision next year, but the public outcry is like, no, we want to do Eurovision. So they're like, oh, okay, we'll file the papers and figure out how we're going to do this. And then in 2022, we have the live audition process, but the jury's just like, hello, we are sending Zobzi Dub. Speaking of ZDZ, we have a lot of repeat entrants. There's like a very small but mighty bench of talent in Moldova. ZDZ has participated 3 times. Natalia Gordienko has performed for them twice. Natalia Barbu has performed for them twice. Pasha Parfani has performed twice and been a songwriter, and performed a 3rd time as the accompanist for Aliona Moon. And Sunstruck Project has performed twice, and all of those names pop up over the history of their selections a bunch.
Absolutely.
Is again, like there is a very small but mighty pool of talent in Moldova that wants to do Eurovision and is coming up with Eurovision songs. And those songs are consistently in English or Romanian. Those are the national languages. And I have noted that they do best with entries that combine folklore and rock and roll. Trenuletul is such a wonderful thesis statement on this is what Moldova does best. There's 19 entries. That's super easy to slap into a YouTube playlist and just have in the background while you're doing your notes for this. And just like that was my metric, is just sort of, as I was going through them, I would give them either the train emoji or an X emoji.
Okay.
I was just like, does this satisfy the requirement of folklore and rock and roll? I'm going to keep this as high level as possible, but let's talk about some stuff along the way, especially because it is the 20th anniversary of Some Mess, which we love here on the program. Okay, so they debut in 2005, and they send Zob Zidub with Bunika Bate Doba. A fantastic first entry for them, I think. It really sets the tone of this is Moldova. This one gets the old person playing a traditional instrument box from Love, Love, Peace, Peace checked off.
It's even referenced in it, isn't it?
Yes, it is. They do very well. In the single semifinal, they place second.
Oh, wow.
They were solidly through to the final, and in the final, they placed sixth.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so just like a great start to things, and then 2006 is incredibly messy. Again, standard Moldovan process. Everybody sends in their entries. They get 40 entries received between January 6th and 27th when that period is open. A 7-member jury selects 25 of those to compete. A semifinal takes place on February 5th and airs on February 8th, where a jury selects 13 of the 25 entries to go through.
Mm-hmm.
At the conclusion of the final on February 25th, there are 3 entries tied with 18 points each.
Oh, no.
But like, unlike most things with Eurovision and ties, there is a procedure. We're going to go to the expert jury, and they're going to vote for one of the top 3 entries, and that'll sort it out. It does not sort it out. There are 8 members of the jury. 2 songs receive 4 votes each and are still tied. But it's okay, because we have a plan for what if this happens, which is we're going to go to the youngest member of the jury, and they're going to pick the winner. Is this a good plan? No, but you know what? It is a plan.
Was there a televote available, or was it all a jury making decisions on this one?
There was a televote available.
Oh, Moldova. Come on.
Yeah. Anyways, so again, this is in the hands of the youngest member of the jury. The youngest member of the jury abstains from voting. The final ends without a winner.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they don't even go to the next youngest person.
Nope.
Oh no.
Nope. It's I mean, this was running up against like broadcast limits or whatever. So just like, again, it's a mess.
Oh no.
By March 2nd, 2 producers of songs that participated have complained. 13 artists have co-signed a petition presented to the Moldovan government requesting a redo of the final with a new jury. What Moldova decides to do is organize a second final from scratch.
Oh no.
I feel like it's very important to note at this point that with the first selection, we have 3 entries that have tied for first place.
Right.
You know it's not one of those entries? Loka.
Oh, okay.
Loka enters during the second final. On March 8th, a second final is organized from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Artists have until March 14th to submit songs. The final will be held, because it has to be held, on March 15th. So until like 10 a.m. on March 14th, you can get your song in. This is good. We're trying to make things fair. The top 3 from the first final are invited, are say, you guys are invited, you can bring your same song.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of those agrees to do that. That's Serge Kuzenkov's Made in Moldova. Is like, cool, yes, I will do this, great. By March 14th, 8 new entries are received. A panel selects 4 of these compete alongside Made in Moldova in the second final. Made in Moldova places second behind Loka. Loka has like a slight jury lead of like 4 points, but it has a massive televote lead. So just like, okay, cool. You know what? The people want that one. It's won the contest. We're sending Loka. Throughout both finals, the rules of the competition state that the broadcaster possessed the right to nullify the results and choose an alternative entry if the overall standard was not good enough.
Right.
So just like Moldova has always had the clause of like, if we don't like this, we're not going to send something.
Right.
But like in the second final, in the rules of that, if there was a tie, it was still up to the youngest jury member to choose if there was a tie. If they abstained again, the rules now stated that the televote winner would go through. Just do that! Just do that! Anyways, happy 20th anniversary of this mess.
Wow.
Yeah. I assume partially because of the mess and partially because Loka finishes 20th overall in the grand final. That they're just like, what if we took a year off? And the public's just like, no, we enjoy doing Eurovision. Yeah. So they have to kind of scramble. In 2007, they end up sending Natalia Barbu with Fight, which places 10th in both its in the one semifinal and overall. So yeah, good work. Yeah. Good work. I listened to that one. I like it. It's a good one. In 2008 is where they finally sort of hit the skids. Because they send Geta Burlaku with A Century of Love, which I think is an appealingly jazzy mess, but is like very different from what they've sent otherwise. That one's a fun one. It's also the first year of 2 semifinals. They placed 12th in a 100% televote choice. I sort of look at these first few years as experimentation. Let's throw some stuff at the wall. Let's see what sticks. Over the next 5 years, they get super locked in. You have Hora din Moldova, which is, I think, a very great example of what Moldova does well. That's where you get Zobzi Dub coming back in 2011 with So Lucky. In particular, I think Pasha Parfany's Lautar is, like, going through all of their stuff, I think it's still one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Their stagings are pretty minimal. They're using whatever screens are available. They look tiny on the Baku stage. In fairness, everybody looked tiny on the Baku stage. It's too big.
Right. It's minimal staging in terms of like props and stuff, but they know how to use the geography of the stage and really ask a lot of their performers. Like I think particularly of Lautar, like the woman boat thing is so impressive.
You have dancers and 2 people who are alternating between backing vocalist and dancer, doing the boats, doing essentially a full conga line off the stage because they're closing the show,
right.
Which is just such a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And like Lautar is 5th in its semifinal. It's 11th overall in the grand final. It's like one of their best, it's one of their best performances to date. They've been higher up on the list, but like overall, like, it's such a great example of what they do with not a lot.
Exactly.
Another one that I feel like I have to mention just because Epic Sax Guy has just sort of become an eternal meme.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's one of the Eurovision memes that's broken containment. But I would argue, like, it almost doesn't happen. They were 10th in their semifinal. That is a retroactive, we love this so much, because it was 22nd in the grand final. We focus on Epic Sax Guy, but there's so much else going on in the background of that performance.
Mm-hmm.
You have Oliatira's whole outfit and makeup, the other member of Sunstroke Project, who in this performance looks like the Yevgeny Plashenko we have at home.
Yes.
The 2 other dancers that do not have shirts but do have neckties.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very 2010 moment.
Exactly.
I would argue that all 4 of those entries have the folklore and rock and roll to them all. Is like there's a mashup of sort of contemporary music trends with what feels like very traditional instrumentation. There's a violin in the mix.
Yes.
I mean, that's basically how it sort of shakes out. It's like there's a violin, there's some specific sound, there's some brass. They try something that doesn't have that. Pasha Parfany writes a song for Aliona Moon, Omie, which also does well. Like, it's 4th in its semifinal, it's 11th in the grand final. I couldn't do any sort of televote information because that's the SIM card pinata year. But again, it's a very straightforward staging. You have Pasha on stage playing the piano, you have a couple kind of contemporary dancers in the background, and then you have Aliona in this projector dress that like is on like a platform so she can rise and the dress can get big. But just like, it's a really, like, that's another one that I really, really like, and it's very non-folklore and rock and roll. Like, it's a standard ballad.
Right. It felt like that was the one that kind of established the trend of the projector dress, even though I don't believe it was the first example of the projector dress, but it was like the first really effective use of it.
We have been trying the projector dress for years, and like it works out pretty well.
Yeah.
The thing about formulas, though, is that at some point they do stop working and you have to rethink them.
Mm-hmm.
2014, they try something that follows the formula. Wild Soul is very much contemporary music trends plus traditional instrumentation, but folklore and dubstep don't go that well together.
God. The dubstep era of Eurovision is just such a disaster.
Everybody in 2014 was just like wob, 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 wob.
Yeah.
And this one's like weirdly a case of like there's too much stuff on stage. It's like they're usually pretty minimal and there's just so much happening. I have no clue like why it stopped working, but there's just nothing for the jury to grab onto or the televote to hold onto with this one. So like it finishes 16th in the semifinal, which I'm pretty sure was last.
Yeah.
Maybe the formula is no longer working. Let's continue throwing some stuff at the wall, and then we get Edward Roman-Yuta's "I Want Your Love," which I've noted is 11th in the semifinal, but it's not close. Like there is like a 20-point gap. Looking into that entry, nobody involved is Moldovan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Edward is Ukrainian.
Okay.
Like he may be living in Moldova at the time, but like he's
right.
Ukrainian. The songwriters are English, Australian, and Swedish.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of controversy after that wins the final because like we should be celebrating Moldova.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to Eurovision. We get that sort of like tertiary boy band award show performance set up.
Uh-huh.
And again, it places 11th. Like, it's a fun song.
Yeah, and everybody loves a stripper cop, so
yeah. But there's nothing folklore and rock and roll about it.
No.
Lydia Isaac the next year, also close to last in the semifinal, last in the televote.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that one got to 17th based on jury points, and there were not a lot of jury points.
Yeah, well, nobody loves a stripper astronaut, so
I had forgot, like, I had completely memory holed this entire song and performance. Because, like, I'm just like, okay, it's her on stage, that's very Moldova, and then all of a sudden there's, like, an astronaut.
Yep.
I'm like, wait, what? Anyways, we get through the wilderness, we come out the other side. It's like, you know what? We should pick Sunstruck Project. They have worked well for us before. We all love Epic Sax Man. They send Hey Mama, and it does the best they have ever done in Eurovision.
Mama, don't be so mad. If you knew me, you'd be surprised. Mama, don't be so mad. She'll be back home till sunrise. Come on!
Third in the televote in the grand final, second in the televote in their semi. It's their best overall performance to date. This one still holds up. The wedding energy that, just very explicitly on stage with this one. They followed up with Doritos and My Lucky Day. This is where it feels like we were both sort of like tweaking the knobs on the formula to see how we need to tweak it, but also looking for outside sources of money to help us get things to Eurovision. Because this is where Philip Kirkorov comes in.
Mm-hmm.
He loves to produce a group and throw some money at it. This is the other one that I sort of lean on as no, this is Moldova. Moldova had 2 IKEA wardrobes in a dream. They ask a lot of their performers, there's multiple videos of this is what this looks like behind the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it is a really incredible level of farce to make that look as good as it does on stage.
Yeah.
And then we sort of go, okay, we can do a ballad again. And no, you can't. Stay is 12th in semifinal. It's not close. This is another one that doesn't feel very, very folklore or rock and roll.
Well, yeah. Well, this was also the one that was using the same sand artist from Ukraine's entry, Angel, and it's oh, you can't duplicate that magic.
You can't do that now. We still remember the first time that you did this.
Yeah,
it's all very kind of derivative and generic, and it doesn't stick with anybody.
Yeah.
And then we have the pandemic, which again, Kirkorov is back, and this time he's got Natalia Gordienko. Prison. I did not go back to listen to because it did not end up getting selected. They internally select her again, and we get Sugar. I want to watch the actual performance so much more than the official music video because I just know it's coming in the music video.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, oh god, just at some point the guy's face is getting ripped off on his cake.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was so underwhelmed by the live performance. There's just so many errors that happen in it that it just really takes away from the magic of the song.
We all just remember the super long note, and there is a moment where she drops her microphone and somebody catches it, allowing things to continue. But yeah, it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
that one finishes 13th in the grand final somehow.
France gave it 12 points. It was really?
Oh, the French.
Yeah.
We bring back Zabs di Dub. This time with the Advaha brothers, we get Trini Lettel. We get the thesis statement, folklore and rock and roll. I'm just delighted how much of a televote presence this one had. It was second in both its semifinal and the grand final. This is such a joyous song. This is another one that where the actual Eurovision performance is geo-locked. I didn't feel particularly turning on my VPN. So I watched a strange end of the year holiday special version that just has the most terrifying snowmen clowns in the background.
Oh geez. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine. It's only 3 minutes. I can handle it. Pasha's back the next year with Soirée chez Luna. That feels like a lovely update on his whole thing. Has this sort of a dark folklore sort of a feel. Mm-hmm. Again, solidly through the televote. 18th in the grand final, which feels about right given everything that was going on in 2023, but firmly folklore and rock and roll.
Yep.
And then Natalia Barbu is back with In the Middle. I'm still not resolved on whether this one is folklore and rock and roll enough. Again, money troubles are kind of hitting hard because she largely self-funds to get to Malmo. And it sort of shows up in the performance. The performance in Moldova is her and 5 identically dressed dancers doing some interesting stuff. In Malmo, it's just mostly just her on stage with her violin.
Yeah.
That's how we arrive back here at 2026. They've taken a year off. It sounds like we've got some changes to the process this year. We have 2 producers sort of overseeing Selectia Nacionala. Those producers have both Moldova at Eurovision experience and general Moldovan music industry experience, which I think is good. I think I think as much as I love the chaos of the live audition and getting to see like 51 people lined up like it's the DMV to perform their song off of their phone, I think I'm fine with them sort of doing that in-house and just letting us know the shortlist. They said they were only going to select 5 to 10 entries, and they're like, hello, we are going to have 16 entries in the final. In terms of how that's going to be selected from that final, we have 5 international jury members whose votes count as 33%, 15 Moldovan jury members whose votes count as 33%, and then the televote, which is the final third. Interestingly enough, there are no previous representatives in the lineup.
Yeah, I was intrigued by that. I mean, there are some people who have previously participated in national finals, but yeah, I like the idea that it's going to be like, oh, no, like it is going to be a new person representing the country.
Yeah, it should be a new person. We should rebuild that roster.
Yeah.
We've talked about other nations having benches like Australia, where every so often you need to replenish the well.
Exactly.
Have you listened to the finalists? What caught your ear?
Yeah, so on the Moldovan Eurovision website, they had a playlist of the 16 entries. And I will say the second half of the playlist is a lot stronger than the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I think it really starts to kick off at Viva Moldova. I'm really tickled by that entry and what I think it's trying to do.
Yeah, like I'm intrigued by that one. Coming to this with I want folklore and rock and roll, or I want something that feels both traditional and listening to what's happening in music. Bacho's Tata. It felt very ready.
Yes. Yeah. And that was something that was interesting in the playlist. Like there were some where it really felt like going into the karaoke store at the mall and being like, oh, I'm just going to film a music video and send it to my grandma. And others were a fully produced entry. You can tell that this is somebody who knows what they're doing. And
yeah.
Katie Rain's Dance and Cry. That one I'm really interested in because Katie Rain participated in last year's auditions, and I think she had the best entry from those auditions, but like it was the best in a very weak field. So like the fact that they withdrew last year did not fully catch me by surprise. I think Katie Rain has a lot of potential here.
Yeah, I like her as a performer. I'm not in love with Dance and Cry. It's missing some Moldovanness for me. It feels a little Swedish.
And this was the one there were two performers who were performing the same song, and this was that song. So,
and I did come to listening to that song with that knowledge and was like, this is the one that you guys were fighting over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would love to see Katie Rain. I think she deserves better material.
I would agree with that. Yes.
And like just looking at the history of Moldova, it took Doritos like 3 or 4 times to have a song that was ready to go. There's a lot of years where they're like 3rd or 5th in the line in like the final results. Where it's like, okay, no, we found the right song for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with Valeria's entry. She was the runner-up in 2024 with a song that it worked better live than in studio. So I think
that was Anti-Princess. Yeah.
Yeah. And that I think that's also going to make a big difference. Like with some of the songs that I picked out, it's like, ooh, it's going to depend on how this one works live. But if it's a compelling performance, which Moldova is very good at, like it could work. But Valeria's entry, it kind of felt like a Disney villain song. It was just like kind of a weird vibe.
Yeah, well, like I was watching a YouTube playlist someone had thrown together, and the video on YouTube was very clearly made with AI, and that just grossed me out.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like I do not, in fact, have to stand. It completely took me out of the song. Just like, oh, that is against my beliefs. So no, thank you.
Yeah, that'll be something interesting I think this entire year is like, oh, okay, who's embracing AI and how is that going to not going to sit well, So
I'm looking forward to this. Moldova knows what works for it. I hope that they pick something that sort of leans into that with this year's selection. But we'll see.
I saw on their website that the final does seem to be a celebration of the last 20 years. Like they have, like most of their alumni are coming back to do guest performances. So,
oh, lovely.
Yeah, it should be a really fun show.
Let's relitigate 2006. Who should have won?
Woo.
Everyone's mad.
Yay. All right. Before we dive into Malta, we should probably talk about our Patreon a little bit. Thank you, everyone who supports us on Patreon. It's a huge help in making sure that we keep the lights on here at the EuroWhat. We also know that money is very tight, not just for Moldova, but for everybody. Cost of living is real. And we do have a free newsletter that you can sign up for through our Patreon. And yeah, it's just a rundown of stuff that's happened over the past month, what we're going to be covering on the show in the next few episodes, and occasionally some deep analysis. Our most recent issue, I went on a deep dive on the results from the ESC 250. That was a very fun way to spend New Year's Day.
Yeah, no, like that was a delightful read. Thank you for all of your work there.
Oh, thank you. Yes, shout out to Airtable for being able to sort things so quickly. I want to cut data this way. It's awesome. And yeah, our most recent Patreon bonus episode was about the Taskmaster New Year's treat that came out over the holidays. We're covering that because Sam Ryder from 2022 was one of the contestants. Really fun discussion there. We got to talk about Taskmaster in a semi-official capacity, which that was a fun way to kick off January. So
it was, yes. And then for February, I am very excited because in our Australia episode last year, we went on like a whole tangent about the Grammys and specifically the 40th annual Grammys from 1998. This has to exist online somewhere, and I'm so delighted that the Internet Archive, somebody uploaded what is very clearly an old VHS copy, and we're going to watch that, and then I'm just going to start listing everything that feels very 1998, and it's going to be fun.
Yes, that episode will be dropping beginning of February. And yeah, you can find all of this on our Patreon at patreon.com/EuroWhat. And yeah, hope to see you there. All right, so getting into Malta. I had really no expectations going into this and was delighted almost immediately by what I found. We won't be doing like an entry by entry analysis of this because they've participated a lot.
They've been around.
Yeah. They first joined the contest in 1971. They've participated a total of 37 times. This year will be their 38th participation. So that would be a lot to go through.
Yeah, that's like twice the playlist length.
Yeah. But I did want to kind of start at the top with their debut in 1971. They were represented by Joseph Gretsch with the song Maria I Maltia. Digging into his profile, his first claim to fame was winning the first Malta Song Festival in 1960. And that kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of Malta and song contests in general, because Malta loves song contests. The 1960 Malta Song Festival, that was designed to be the selection method for Eurovision. The problem being Malta was not an EBU member at this point. So it was like they would not be going to Eurovision anytime soon, partly because of the EBU membership issue. Also, they were still a colony of the UK at this point. They became a protectorate under UK control, very similar to what was going on with Cyprus. It seemed to be a fairly harmonious relationship, but they didn't achieve independence until 1964. So it was going to be a minute before Malta could go to Eurovision on its own. At this first song festival, Most of the songs were in Italian. One song was in Maltese. The festival was organized by the Young Christian Workers Organization. So that's kind of Malta in a nutshell, like a very Catholic country, a very close relationship with Italy. Malta is only about 60 miles south of Sicily. And Maltese as a language, it's kind of a hybrid of Sicilian Italian and North African Arabic. It's kind of on its own in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, I think like language-wise, just pulling a lot from Italian, very much like how Moldova, they're next door to Romania. They were originally, like, for a little bit, they were part of Romania, so like there's a lot of overlap.
Right. Yeah. So this contest happens in 1960. They continue doing it in 61 and 62, but there's the Malta Song Festival, which is this original festival, and then the Festival of Maltese Songs, which is more focused on songs in Maltese. So, there's just a lot of kind of cross-pollination that's happening here. Eventually, these two festivals merged into one Malta Song Festival, where each song would be presented in Maltese and in a second language, usually English or Italian. So, Malta, a land of contests. So, in 1964, Malta gains independence. 1968, there's now a new festival that's forming called the Malta International Song Festival. And this one was focusing more on people coming to Malta to perform, but also like performing songs multiple times in multiple languages. One thing that completely stopped me in my research was the 1969 edition of this International Song Festival. It was won by a woman from Spain. The second place finisher in that contest was a singer from the UK named David Bowie.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, no, and that's like the part of his career where he is not like fully the David Bowie we know and love, where he is still kind of working stuff out. But yeah,
absolutely, yeah. Well, that was the thing. The thing that's really weird about this is we are recording this on January 10th, which is the 10th anniversary of his passing. That was not intentional at all. It was just like, oh, this is one of the things of like the universe saying like, you're on the right track. So, yeah, but just to kind of place this in time on David Bowie's career. He had released his first album a few years prior, didn't really go anywhere with it. This contest was held 2 weeks after the single Space Oddity was released. So
what?
Yeah, this is like 4 or 5 months before his second album came out. So like, yeah, very, very early in his career. Had he won this festival, how things would have changed.
Just like truly the precise moment that David Bowie can, as a performer, appear at like the Malta Song Festival.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. There was a great quote in one of the Maltese newspapers that was like kind of highlighting this event. This festival culture isn't really a UK, it's not part of UK culture. And he's just like, yeah, like these are usually festivals for lady singers who like they just kind of live on the festival circuit, and like their bread and butter is like going to these competitions, traveling Europe that way. The only reason that he went to Malta was just like, I want a week in the sun. Like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be held at the Malta Hilton. It should be great. And yeah, it's just like, oh, it turned out well for him. But yeah, it's like, it's not even a footnote in his career. It's just like, oh yeah, this is just something that he did, and it just happened to coincide with his career taking off. So yeah, that was just a wildly delightful discovery. That happened in 1969. 1971, Malta has filled out all the paperwork. They're going to Eurovision. And the way that they decided to determine their contestant was to use the Malta Song Festival, which would have like 12 to 15 entries every year, and have the top 6 entries from that festival move on to this kind of bonus round of Song for Europe. The thing that's weird about this, though, is the broadcaster isn't involved in the organization of the Malta Song Festival. So the festival could pick whatever it wanted, and whatever the top 6 were from that festival would be what the broadcaster would work with. The Song for Europe competition really was just picking the song. It wasn't necessarily picking the artist. The first song that they picked just happened to be performed by Joseph Gretsch, and they went with him to perform at Eurovision. This is a song fully in Maltese, first time at the contest, and this is during the era of what I think is maybe the weirdest scoring method that they've used, where it's one juror who is under the age of 25, one juror who's over the age of 25, and they each rate each song on a scale of 1 to 5. So each entry is going to get a minimum of 2 points or a maximum of 10 points. So Malta ends up scoring 52 points, which sounds great. They are in last place, and it's not really close. Yeah, so not the best debut, but it happens. In 1972, they try again, and they use pretty much the same method. The difference this time is when the song gets selected, they decide to turn it into a duet rather than its original incarnation as a solo performance. They go to the contest, the song is fully in Maltese, same jury method, they score 48 points, they are last again. This isn't quite working. In 1973, they're going through this process again. The songs come through, and they're just like, none of these songs really sound like they're going to do that great. So they do what Moldova did last year, and just like, yeah, we're just going to cut our losses now. We'll see you around. 1974, they also skip. I haven't really found a reason why, if it was budgetary, if it was another song quality issue. This was also around the time that Malta was kind of finalizing the structure of its government. So there was probably a lot of stuff going on at home. 1974 was also hosted in the UK. So I don't know if there was just like awkwardness of being like, oh, my ex invited me to their birthday party. Should I go? So yeah, did not participate in 1974. In 1975, they're just like, okay, we're going back to Eurovision. We'll use the same process that hasn't really worked for us in the first couple times, but we'll see how it goes. But we know we're going to send English this time. We're not going to do Maltese. That might be contributing to our troubles. They end up sending the song, Singing This Song by Renato.
We were born to live on this earth. So when something goes wrong, join in singing this song.
It is performed in English, and they do okay. It's a different scoring method this time around, only 32 points, but they finish in 12th place. They're mid-table. They're finally making some moves that are encouraging to their participation. And they're just like, all right, we might have a plan. Let's see how 1976 plays out. There's a spike in participation fees, and Malta's just like, oh, yeah, we can't afford this price increase for something where we're only doing okay. And we also have more than enough song contests at home. So thank you for having us. We're going to take a break. And that's what they did. They stayed out of the contest for 16 years. So completely missed the 80s, came back to the contest in 1991, likely because Italy was hosting. Again, besties. And the rules were set up in a way that would still allow them to perform in English. So they go to Italy and they finish quite well. They send Paul Giordimania and Georgina with the song Could It Be? And they finish in 6th place. So, wow, top 10 finish. Great. That's just the start of an incredible period for Malta. Over the next 8 years, they have top 10 finishes. That includes, in 1992, Mary Spiteri's Little Child finishes 3rd. And in 1998, Chiara's The One That I Love finishes in a very close 3rd. Malta was only 7 points behind Israel in that contest and only 1 point behind Imani. That is arguably Malta's best performance, really, of all time, like looking at the scoreboard. They did finish in 2nd place in 2002 with Ira Lasco's Seventh Wonder. Wasn't particularly close on the scoreboard, but another distinction that Malta has during this period is they were never relegated. And they are one of only 2 countries to never be relegated during this era of the contest. I think you had mentioned it in the Sweden episode that Sweden's the only other country to survive that time frame.
To never have to sit a year out.
Exactly. So it's like, wow, good for Malta. That is a very strong claim to fame. Getting into the semifinal era from 2004 to 2015, it's kind of a mixed bag. They do finish second place overall in 2005, but again, it was not close. And that was the last time that they have finished that high on the scoreboard. In fact, in 2006, they finished in last place with 1 point. So that is arguably Malta's worst performance at the grand final. They didn't qualify in 2007, 2008, 2010, 2011, or 2015. They tried sending Chiara for a third time in 2009. Didn't go so well. She finished in 22nd place. Their only top 10 finish in this era was Gianluca's Tomorrow in 2013, which kind of delighted me because I think that is a very sweet song, but at the same time, I would not have remembered that was 2013. Like, gun to head, I would have said that was 2014.
Nope, could not tell you that was 2013.
Similar to Moldova, like, it is a kind of small talent pool to pull from, so there are a lot of repeat acts. Like, Chiara's been there multiple times. Ira Lasco returns in 2016, and she does well, not as well as she had done previously, but finishes in 12th place. Since 2016, Malta's only qualified 3 times. Destiny, who has won Junior Eurovision for Malta, reached 7th place in 2021 and won the semifinal that year. And yeah, I'm really hoping that she comes back at some point because she's got the chops. And I think now that she has a little bit more life experience, that's also going to just add more oomph to her performances. But it's still been kind of rough going for Malta. 2023 and 2024, they finished last in the semifinals. Last year was kind of a breath of fresh air with serving Kant. The thing that's really interesting about that entry is that's the first time that Maltese has appeared in a Maltese entry since 1972. So just thinking of all of the language issues that were coming up with serving Kant and the playfulness of it, it's like, oh, no, it is really kind of a big deal that this one Maltese word is being picked out to be redacted from the song, even though we know what Malta was doing. So.
We know, yeah.
But yeah, looking ahead to this year's selection, there's going to be 18 songs competing. There's going to be a semifinal on Thursday. That's going to get cut down to 12 acts, which will advance to the final on Saturday. Again, like Moldova, a lot of alumni from previous national selections, but there's no Eurovision alumni in the mix. It's going to be a new person representing Malta at the main contest. So, yeah, did you get a chance to listen to the Maltese entries?
I have not yet. Give me like the high level.
It's kind of consistent with what Malta's been sending. Like, there's a lot of like what I've been calling song-shaped entries. But there is interesting stuff happening. I love that Malta and Moldova are getting paired in this way because they are very similar in a lot of ways. They have a lot of similar challenges of like very small population, very small talent pool to pull from, not the most thriving music industries.
So a little susceptible to having a lot of song-shaped things.
Yeah, there is only one Swedish song in the mix, so that's good. Like I think both of these countries are stronger when they are pulling on their own traditions rather than outsourcing.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some really good vocal performances happening during the semifinal and final. And there's a lot of interesting instrumentation and playing around with genres. Like Matt Black's entry is kind of a adaptation of like the Nordic sea shanties that we've been getting the last few years, but with like Maltese instrumentation kind of mixed in.
Okay.
Far away, I hear a
distant sound, shivers running up my spine. Now won't you follow me and it'll set you free. When the flute drops, watch me come alive.
I don't particularly like the song, but I think that's more about the genre than anything else, just because like I've not been super responsive to
Just everybody doing their own take on the Wellerman.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. Malta will put on a show, and I think it'll be good conversation fodder. So
But yeah, like I feel like if nothing else, looking at the last few years of their entries, they have been it's been good conversation.
yeah, and it's a show that they take pretty seriously. I feel like I don't think Malta goes in with the expectations of winning necessarily, but I feel like they take the contest seriously enough where it's like, hey, yeah, we are investing in this and we want to do well, even if we're probably not going to win overall necessarily. So
Yeah, we want to represent ourselves well.
yeah, and there are a number of entries this year that have like Maltese lyrics or fully Maltese, and some that are also in like other non-English languages. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out, just kind of given the influx of non-English that we've had over the last couple of years.
It is finally a time where they can bring back Maltese and not have that be an immediate last place in the table for you.
Exactly. Yes. So I'm looking forward to both of these shows. So
Yeah, no, like it's like a very fun start to national final season. That's going to do it for this episode of the EuroWhat. Thanks for listening. The EuroWhat podcast is hosted by Ben Smith, that's me, and Mike McComb.
that's me. You can find our full archive of episodes on our website at EuroWhat.com. You can also join us on Blue Sky at EuroWhat, where we'll be watching the Moldova and Malta national finals along with the rest of the Eurofan community.
Next time on the EuroWhat, we're getting ready for the third edition of the Luxembourg Song Contest.